Oh, geweldig. Shalom, Shalom Yankel.
Rabbi.
How are you?
Good, Baruch Hashem.
You're on twice?
Am I?
No, there's Y and there's U. There's
Jacob,
like you.
Jacob Kalman.
Oh, Yaakov Comment. Okay, so now I just need to be made host.
I just made you the host.
Made it a host? You're such a nice guy.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I can do. All right, here we go. That's what we got. How are you, Yaakov?
Amazing, Baruch Hashem.
Good.
Baruch Hashem.
I think they're cracking down here a little bit again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me see. Here we go. Showing the timeline. Good. Right there. Yeah. No, I think they just whatever. Shem Yazar. They're supposed to. Tomorrow's minyan. You guys have been davening a minyan?
Sure.
Yeah. So tomorrow they're supposed to have 10 people for a minyan. No more. I'm just talking to the Rav. I was a little bit late to have to work out this thing with. Just walk a little closer to get a router. Maybe that will help because I'm not getting a signal. Yeah, so like they may just do 10 people tomorrow for every minyan. I'm just trying to go close to the router and hope that it goes on because I'm wanting it. No. It's just I'm trying to get onto. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. We're almost ready. Actually, you know what? I'd like to take that spot over there. And if you could take the earphones or something. I'm just saying it's just, my contact over there is just not great enough. I'm pulling out a lot. All right, okay, good. We're ready to go. Let me just get the safer. Thank you very much for your patience. Okay, here we go. Now, I want to tell you that in this year, I'm going above my pay grade. Because I really wanted to do this piece. You're over here. There we go. I'm going by my pay grade on this one. Yeah, don't see. Yeah, okay. Hold on a second. Or you can go into the, I don't know, or take the headphones. Great. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah, okay, I think we're together. Oh, Sakhala. Oh, very nice. Okay, very nice. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm telling you, this is above my pay grade, this piece. But I saw it was so fascinating. So I sent it forward. And Shalom, if you can put on the headphones. Amazing. Oh, Shalom Howie, it's been a long time. Okay, here we go. Come on, it's enough social. Some people are trying to learn Torah over here. Here we go. So the piece is in Reb Tzadok. Now Reb Tzadok writes. Yeah, Shalom Howie. Okay, so Reb Tzadok likes like this.
Hi, how are you?
We're going to just jump into this. This is like I'm saying, I just found it to be fascinating. Some I got and some I definitely didn't get. Kashem Asher Hashem Yisbarach Meir Panav La'adam. When Hashem shows his light to a person, what does it mean, Hashem? Like, right? Like, show you light. Like, you should show his face to you. What does it mean? So it says, Ha'inu Shemeir Belibo Amitas Hashem Yisbarach. It means, wow, I find Rav Tzadok to be so intense and so fascinating. He says what it means is that Hashem lights up in the person's heart the truth of Hashem, Eichu be'emes molei chol haaretz kvodo, that really he fills up the whole world, the ebezuloso, klal, and there's no one besides Hashem. I can't tell you, this is for me a very powerful line. One of the things that occupies my mind when I'm trying to think about Yiddishkeit and Torah. I think about, like, when do we light up? Like, when does that happen? You know, everybody has their music, for example, that lights them up inside, lahavda, right? But it comes to like davening, learning Torah, sometimes we don't feel the light. And when we're thinking about Hashem, we don't necessarily feel that light. We don't feel that connection. And when Hashem shines his light on a person, it means that he feels in his heart, Hashem is everywhere. He loves me. He's running the world, right? That's what it means. Now, Zehu Kvar Yeshua, right? Nusha Yeshua Shlema. That's what's called redemption. By redemption by a yid, what does it mean, redemption? It means when a person is taken out of the smallness. So when he feels deeply connected to Hashem and he feels, oh, Hashem is really there with me, so that's considered like he's being redeemed. Commotion Emar, until it says, light your countenance, the Nivashea, and we will be saved. Right? So there's this balance of when we feel that connection deep, or it's a process, when we feel that deep connection that Hashem is lighting up our hearts, then we feel, okay, we're saved, we're free men. And he's bringing it, this is a phrase which is used, which means even though a person may find himself in a fairly dark place, but the bottom line is, if Hashem lights up even a little bit in his light, it goes a tremendous distance. We've all had that experience. There's some, like a little, in Kabbalah Shabbos, or you say Yehesh Me Rabbah, something, you see a sunset, and it's a light, that little bit of light that like, oh, the branch is with me. So it's normally more with Torah and Tefillah. When the Hashem is with me, we'll see that like looking at the beautiful sunset. That's a little bit different, all right? So then you feel like, wow, it's even though there's a lot of darkness in my world, but there's light here over here. Okay. Yeah. Now, the kasher nichnas or bebayis, when you bring light into the house, so then darkness leaves it. So the house is not just our physical house we're living in, but is the house of our being. Right? We're like a house. We're like a little miniature house. When light goes into that house, so we get lit up. Okay. There's a medrash called Shocher Tov. Mizmah, it says like this. Pirush, Anu ein lanu ella ha'aris panecha. Hashem, what we are really looking for is you lighting up your countenance. V'hainu ki b'beis hamikdash, because in the Beis Hamikdash it says Nemar Yera'eh. So it says you should see Yireh. It says you should see Pnei Adon, the face of the master. What does that mean? Ha'inu riyas panim mamish. Riyas mamish. Riyas panim mamish. When you see, okay, when we talk about going to the Beis Hamikdash, you should see the face of Hashem. What does it mean to see the face of Hashem? We don't see the face of Hashem. There's no face to Hashem, right? So that idea is what we're saying is when Hashem shows his face to us, it means there's a light inside. We feel his presence in front of us. We feel that connection, and our world turns to darkness to light, right? That's the process. Now, that's the Beis Hamikdash. This is so far. I mean, the rest of the piece is not, I found it now from here on, it gets a lot more challenging. But that's the simple shot of how we're starting over here. That when we have this procedure, right? We have the light, Hashem showing his face, we feel the light inside, and that lights up all of the darkness, and we're ready to take on the world. And we feel nivasheh, we feel redeemed. Okay, now, fine. Now, v'hagam the Moshe Rabbeinu olav shalom ne'emar. Now, by Moshe it says, "Upanai lo yerau." It says by Moshe Rabbeinu, he didn't see my face, right? It says by us, when we go to the Beis Hamikdash, we see the face of Hashem, and the Moshe and the study is explaining to us that that's like all things when we're talking about Hashem's face, Hashem's hands, etc. Doesn't mean his face. It means a reality of an expression of how Hashem relates to us, right? So that's the Pnei Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu himself says he didn't see the face of Hashem. It sounds like he didn't have this deep connection and expression inside of his heart. How could that be, right? Lefi shahaya b'chutz la'aretz, because again, if he didn't say this, Reb Tzadok didn't say it, we wouldn't say it. Because Moshe Rabbeinu was in chutz la'aretz. U'kamoshe shamati, and that's what he heard. Now, I'm going to tell you that there are certain words you want to take with us, all insights, all Reb Tzadok, all Torah. But over here, there's going to be an insight into our benching, a very interesting insight into our benching. So it says as follows. In the benching, it goes like this. And he says there's going to be a difference. There's going to be a difference. There's going to be a difference between the first bracha and benching and the second bracha of benching. Moshe Rabbeinu gave us the first bracha, and Yeshua gave us the second bracha. The first bracha, as up till now, we're saying, was written in Chutz La'aretz, and the second bracha was written in Eretz Yisrael. And we're going to see why that's important, what the significance is. He says, "L'chein b'birchas hazon shetikein Moshe Rabbeinu halav shalom." Moshe Rabbeinu was the one who established the bracha of hazonas hakol, the first bracha, the first blessing in our benching. Kamoshe Omer b'brachas kula medaber is b'loshen nistar. We don't speak about Hashem in a direct way, which means in the second bracha we're going to say that in Chaltish Lavaseno, Eretz Chem the Tovar, you wanted the land, right? You gave us, and you gave us such good, and it's always talking to Hashem directly. But by the first bracha, we don't talk to Hashem directly. We don't say you, your land, you gave the good. It's not like that, right? It's Lashon Nistar, it's hidden. We're not talking directly to Hashem. Below benochach la Hashem yisbar, we don't talk directly to Hashem. Now the question is, why is it like that? Why is it that when it comes to, right? Why is it that when we are talking in the first bracha, we're not talking directly, so to speak, to Hashem, and in the second bracha we are? And he says something which is totally remarkable. And he says, now I don't want to make anybody over here feel bad, right? But he says, what's the reason? Shahadar b'chutz la'aretz doma kamisha ein lo elaha. It says that somebody who lives in chutz la'aretz is like he doesn't have a God. That's what it says in the Gemara in Ksubas. It means he doesn't have a certain direct connection with the Hashem. All right? Yosef, I know you're just checking in. He's saying, oh, there he disappeared. Okay, well, I have to catch him up. Ve'ein makir hanochach. Right? Now, I don't know if you guys are getting this. It's a little bit tricky, but it's just a fascinating point. In the first bracha, we said, Hazonis HaKol is, Hazonis Olam Kula V'chuvu Devchem B'chazra. He gives food to the whole world. But we don't say you give food to the whole world. Right? In the second bracha, we say, no de l'cha. Thank you, Hashem. We're talking directly to Hashem. Because the first bracha was written in outside of Eretz Yisrael, so we don't talk to Hashem directly when we're when we're out of Eretz Yisrael. When we get to Eretz Yisrael, we talk to Hashem directly, right? Again, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I know, Aaron, you just left, so I don't mean to right? But this idea of talking directly is something that doesn't happen in the first bracha, but it does happen in the second bracha. I hope you guys are getting me. I'm just kind of talking. Everybody's in, It's fine. I'm used to talking to myself. I'm hoping that this is also being understood. Fine. Well, Moshe Rabbeinu, Olav Shalom, Lo Nichnas La'aretz. Moshe Rabbeinu never came to Eretz Yisrael. The Ein Ze Pagam. Now, the way we're saying now, it could sound like that the fact that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't come to Eretz Yisrael, something's lacking. Right? He didn't have this direct relationship. Let's go through this slowly. Again, according to Reb Tzadok, the first bracha of benching is what's called nistar. It's hidden. We don't talk directly to Hashem. We say Hazan es kulo b'tuva b'chein b'chesed v'rachim. Right? We say He gives food to everyone. Right? In the second bracha, we say that was written by Moshe. The second bracha we say No Dilucha Hashem Elokeinu Al Yisrael. Right? Al Shin Chalta Lavasenu. You gave us the land. There is Chem the Tover that you want. We talk to Hashem directly. So why is it by the first bracha we don't talk to Hashem directly, and in the second bracha we do talk to Hashem directly? All right, Yaakov, you getting this? You're gonna need to tell your wife this, boy. You're gonna need to ask what's the difference between the first bracha and the second bracha. in benching. You're going to be benching, right? Shabbos Kodesh is coming, even if you don't have break, if you don't watch today. Shabbos Kodesh is coming. You're going to say, Rebbitzin, I got an interesting question for you. In the first bracha, Hazan es Olam, he gives food. We're talking like to him. And in the second bracha, it says, No delucha. Thank you, Hashem. Why the difference? And you'll tell him, but you have to go further than this. You'll have to start, you'll tell him, because the first bracha was written in Chutz La'aretz, so it's not as direct. And the second bracha was written by Yeshua in Eretz Yisrael, it's more direct, right? And then Mitzvah Hashem, after that word, on Moshe Shabbos, you'll call Nevish B'nef. No, I don't want to put any pressure on anybody. All right, here we go. Now, according to this, it looks not so good. It looks like Moshe Rabbeinu, it doesn't have this direction, he's talking from Chutz La'aretz. He's talking third person. Hazan es Olam. You give food. He gives food. He doesn't talk directly. Doesn't sound good. Sounds like Moshe Rabbeinu isn't on the same level as Yeshua, right? Moshe Rabbeinu talks about in third person. And he feeds the world. And Yeshua comes into the land and it says, thank you, Hashem. It's much more direct. So is Moshe Rabbeinu on a lower level than Yeshua? Is that? How do we understand that? Okay, so now he adds we're going to talk about 3 ideas. And again, this is where it gets above my pay grade. I'm going to try to learn it with you guys, but this is partially above my. I think it doesn't mean it's fascinating. It's just above my pay grade. So it says like this. So it says we shouldn't think Moshe Rabbeinu Alav Shalom. The fact that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't come into Eretz Yisrael, we shouldn't look as a blemish on Moshe Rabbeinu Alav Shalom. Chas Shalom. And he says in the Zohar, Kiyadua mishlosh madregas. There are 3 concepts in how we relate to Hashem. There's what's called ani, ata, and hu. Ani is I. We'll see what that means in terms of our relationship with Hashem. Ata is you. That's another relationship with Hashem. And then it's who, he, right? So we'll discuss that. There's a very famous book called I and Thou, right? A famous book that in Jewish thought, not classic Jewish thought, a well-known book. And here it's talking about there's actually 3 levels: I, you, and he. And when we talk about Hashem and our relationship with Hashem, how does this work? And we'll see how Moshe Rabbeinu fits into all of this. Oh, I know I should do simpler pieces, but I'm such a whatever. I got such a taiva to do this kind of thing. Anyway, we'll do it anyway. We're here. So it says like this. That says the idea of who, when we talk about Hashem as he, madrega yoser gadola. It's a bigger level. Shemasig mokam yoser gadol. He sees a bigger place. Lo shayach lomer alav nochach. Devalti. Kihu tamir v'nela. What he's saying is like, let me make a pause over here. Let me tell you what I think Rav Tzadok is saying in a little different terms. There is knowing Hashem, and there's believing Hashem. Believing in Hashem. Which is bigger? Knowing Hashem or believing in Hashem? I can answer my own question, or anybody can answer. So believing in Hashem is higher. Why? Because let's say I understand there's Hashem, right? So I see the Torah. Nobody else could have written it. I see how a person works, all the DNA and how it functions. No, it has to be Hashem. I see a baby being born. It has to be Hashem. I see a mountain, a beautiful mountain range. It has to be Hashem, right? Now, how much do I understand? I'm understanding Charlop's understanding of God. Like I've got Charlop's understanding of who Hashem is, right? But that obviously is going to be extremely limited. Excuse me, gentlemen. This is my American phone. It's a little bit. Yeah, hi. I'm sorry. I'm giving it to you right now. If I could tell you to call you back, if you can call back at about 3:15, I'd appreciate it. Is that possible? Thanks so much. Bye. Okay. Yeah, that was my stockbroker. Just made another 100,000. Okay, don't want to talk about it right now. It's okay. Yaakov didn't even. Okay.
I heard.
Yeah, whatever. I told him I can't talk about small change. I don't have time for that kind of stuff. Yeah, she understood. She understood. Anyway, I can't stand being bothered by these. I always tell them like another at least 3. Like, okay, whatever. Just can't get good help these days. So you have over here. So if I have understanding of Hashem, right? I understand Torah fits, everything's amazing, right? The sunrise, babies, wow. Yom Kippur, I feel connected. Shabbos Kodesh, Hashem, Hashem, Hashem. Kabbalah. Again, life is not black and white, but we try to connect. Now, how big is my understanding of Hashem? That's however big our Charlop's brain or neshama is, right? How big is Hashem? Totally like beyond the beyond the beyond. Like as soon as it's me, I've made Hashem finite, so to speak. Again, it's not 100% true because I can still, there's a space in my brain because I'm a nefesh elokah l'mimal, because we're a godly soul. So we understand that there's some way that we have no words for Hashem and his infiniteness, right? Which is why the highest expression when you'll talk about Hashem is not the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, normally, at least in Hasidic writing. It's Ein Sof, or the Or Ein Sof, right? The endless light. That's the best we can do, to say there's an endless light. We don't know what the light is. We don't know what endless means, right? Then I can just say there's something I don't have any idea about. So that's Emunah. Emunah is when I have no idea, totally beyond me. That's Emunah. Now, Emunah really on a certain level is definitely higher than my understanding of Hashem. Because my understanding of Hashem is going to be limited. I understand, whatever I don't understand. But so the word atah, you guys getting me, right? You got this idea that Emunah is really higher in Jewish thought. Now, it doesn't mean we're talking about blind faith. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean we just believe something because somebody convinced me. We don't believe that God got nailed to a cross. You know what I mean? We don't believe that. We don't believe that can happen to God. Excuse me. I don't like to take pot shots at other religions, but sometimes when things are like what? How'd you guys figure that one out? Who was the PR guy on that one? You know why? You never heard that one, Shafi, why Yoshka never went to college? Because he got nailed on his boards. Okay. So here we go. So there's an idea of what I understand. What I understand is that's you, Hashem. That's Ata. Baruch Ata Hashem. That's the bracha that we make. And we try, again, we don't do it easily, but it's Baruch Ata Hashem. You, Hashem. I look at an apple, I say, wow, Hashem, this is all about you. Right? I realize this is all about you. This isn't about just some random red thing that grew out of nowhere. It's about you. But there's another level where I say, where I just, right, Hu haya, hu hovet, hu yiyeh. He always was, he is, and he always will be. I don't know what that means. That's total emunah. I can't picture that. So that's a higher level, and that's who. Hu haya, hu hovet, hu yiyeh is a different reality, right? That's where it goes past me. Moshe Rabbeinu was the level of who. It wasn't the level of Ata, because Moshe Rabbeinu lived with this awareness of it. And again, we can't imagine what this reality is, but he lived in a world of Emunah where he totally doesn't see the limited qualities of Hashem as Ata. He sees Hashem as something which is, and he lives with the fact that Hashem is totally beyond him, and he lives with it all the time. Which I don't know how you do that. I don't know how it's like it's always beyond your limit, and you live with it as a reality, right? But that's what the concept of who means. So Moshe Rabbeinu is the concept of the fact that we can't even imagine it. There's no ata, there's no you. And because of that, his madrega is higher than saying you. There's a difference between who, which means you, he, and ata, which is you. So let's just get this. So again, this is more the Kabbalistic way of understanding the first and second bracha. The first bracha we said talks to Hashem. Hazanis that we talk about Hashem. Hashem, you give food. Hazanis hakolam koah. He gives food to everyone, right? We don't talk to him directly. Simple reason is because it was given in Chutz La'aretz. And no Delacha, which talks directly to Hashem, was given in Eretz Israel. That's the word you're going to tell your wife, Yaakov. All right? Then there's the second level, which you can tell the Olam in the shul, if you're going to share it with them, that the first bracha is Hazan. It's because it's not directly talking to Hashem, because Moshe Rabbeinu is writing it from a reality which is not limited to you. It's a reality where he's beyond even saying you, because he knows that his you is going to be limited. So he's going to be looking to Hashem as a who, as a he, something which is beyond his comprehension. And he's going to live with that reality. So he's never going to be in a state of like, oh, I see Hashem directly. I feel Hashem directly, which he does, but it's on a much different level. So Moshe Rabbeinu gives the first bracha and says, Hazan is a kol. He gives food because he just knows that that Hashem's reality is way beyond him, and that's the reality we live on. However, by Yeshua, and when Jewish people come into Eretz Israel, it's no delacha. We thank you. And again, that's the live of that. That's what we're searching for. We're searching for the ata. We're searching for, when we say a bracha, Baruch Atah Hashem, that's what we're trying to look to. We're trying to figure out how to say ata. We're trying to figure out how do I take an apple and say, and somehow have the kavanah to say, this apple is not just like this little red thing. It's an expression of Hashem, of your godliness, right? We're learning Torah right now, right? Baruch atah Hashem, Elokeinu melech haolam, asher bacha bani b'kol hamim and us. Now this is interesting. It's not Torah itself, but right it's you Hashem who gave us this Torah. But that's going to be a level that is a great level, but there's a certain deep level which is above that. Is this making sense at all to you guys? You guys getting this at all?
Yeah, Rabbi. Let me ask you something. So when you say but when Moshe Rabbeinu was saying when he was living it, it was more like he was living on the infinite level.
Right.
That's what you're saying, right?
Right, exactly. So
Trying
infinite is.
Can't get
So
there.
infinite, I'm sorry, go ahead, Yaakov, what?
No, Rabbi. Go.
No, so the infinite is the word who. Infinite is represented by the word who, because infinite I have no shaykhs to infinite. Only Hashem is infinite. So I can only speak about Hashem as he, right? Right? I can only talk about Hashem as him, because infinite I can't directly talk to. So finite in this world, I can say you, right? And our search in this world is to find the you. Yeah? Okay.
Because if we were to try to find the infinite, then we would get nowhere. Is that right?
No. We get to touch on it because part of our neshama knows what the infinite is. That's the nefesh elokam imal, mamish, and there's five parts to our neshama, and the highest part perceives that. Again, we don't perceive it here in this world because we became very physical, but there's the highest part of our neshama, right? The Yechidah, which is is aware of this higher reality. It comes out in very unusual ways and unusual times, but it's that deep connection of the Shema Yisrael that somehow, when everything is just whatever, we still connect to Hashem, even though we, like the you, we don't see. We just know that there's something more infinite, something higher. I mean, listen, I'm not going to try to understand something which I don't understand. But when we go to Poland, I don't know if you guys remember, in the Masha we said over, and I saw it also recently, that there was a French lady. I don't know why she was stationed in Auschwitz, but she was. I don't know if she was working to make sure the foreign prisoners weren't treated bad, the non-Jewish foreign prisoners, but whatever it was, she said for 2 years straight, every day, they said Yidden went into the gas chambers and screamed Shema Yisrael. Yeah, can we understand that? Can we understand how that works? I don't think so, because that's a who. That's a Yiddish. It's an expression of a reality that we can't even imagine. Right? Whatever. Maybe it's a taste of it. Okay, let's do a little bit more here if we can. We're not going to get through the piece, but we'll get through whatever we can in the next few minutes. Somebody coming over, and it says, Moshe Rabbeinu l'shalom, Bailu de Matronisa. So it says Moshe Rabbeinu, who was the husband of the queen. Again, I don't know what that term means over here. His Sigmadreya Godola. Moshe Rabbeinu was on this high level. Therefore, Lo Nichnas le'Eretz Yisrael, he didn't come into Eretz Yisrael. Dahaya Madregosala Malamala Mizeh. Because Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't be contained. Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't from this world. So even the highest Madrega of what we have in Eretz Yisrael, Moshe Rabbeinu had no shaykhs to it. So it's not so, again, so there's two ways of relating to Chutz La'aretz. There's one way of relating to Chutz La'aretz that it's not Eretz Yisrael, right? And for us, that's the case. We should all want to be in Eretz Yisrael. Again, if it can work out, there's realities to it. There's emotional realities and financial realities. But the chukka, the desire of the yid should be to be in Eretz Yisrael. We should want to be in Eretz Yisrael. But Moshe Rabbeinu was on a Madrega. We had no shaykhs there olam hazeh. It wasn't a question that he's not coming into Eretz Yisrael because he was on a higher, like he was on a lower level. I never made it to Eretz Yisrael. The Teretz he was above. Now it could be, I don't know, he doesn't speak about it in this piece. It could be that the Moshe Rabbeinu, when Tchias Mesa will come, Eretz Yisrael may become a whole different reality, and then Moshe Rabbeinu can go in because it's going to be on a higher level. But the way it is now, Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't go in, not because he's a Chutz La'aretz Yid. Pshat is because he has no shaykhs to what Eretz Yisrael has to offer, because Eretz Yisrael has to offer a certain relationship that Moshe Rabbeinu is way beyond. Which again, it's only for Moshe Rabbeinu. It doesn't mean that we're lacking. Just Moshe Rabbeinu was like, we're shooting for the stars. Moshe Rabbeinu is above the stars. It's something like that. Now, we don't have a Beis HaMikdash. We want to go to Eretz Yisrael and we want to talk to Hashem directly, but we don't have that. There's no Beis HaMikdash. That's where things get direct. So then, what do we have? We have Hashem's lighting up His countenance to us. Pirush Ziv HaShel upon Him. It shows the light of His face. So for us, what we get is the Shechina. Again, Shechina is still great, whatever. A person should be connected to the Shechina. But when we leave that Ata, so we go into a place called Golus. And the Shechina goes with us. Darga the Ani. The Ani, that's the third level. What does it mean to go to Golus and have the level of Ani? Pirush Shuhu Dar B'Kerev Libo. Wow. So intense. It's so intense. I'm telling you, without Torah, without Torah, you can't breathe. It's much like having those masks on, I'll tell you why this is such, to me, is because he's saying Ani is where the Shekhinah is. He's inside us. Dar B'Kerev Libo, he lives in his heart. Dahainu shahasoga atzmo, hu adaber hamusag. This idea itself is what he feels, he understands. Ki hu masig deleis aser ponei minei. He feels inside, there's no one else. Umalo chol haaretz kvoda. Let me just read the line. And Hashem fills the world with hakavod ahu haziv, dahainu hakara aboletis. It's the recognition that like jumps out. Mitzadat nuso midis malchusa b'chol mashalom. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause it here, but let me just tell you what I think he's saying. How do we know Hashem? Right? Baruch Hashem, Eretz Yisrael. But how does someone live in LA and live with Hashem? How do you do that? How do you live in Brooklyn and live with Hashem? The teretz is there's a level called Ani. Ani means Hashem comes and dwells inside of me. I live it. I know it inside. I know it. It's clear to me. Every one of us has had certain experiences where we nobody has to convince us. It's not an intellectual thing, even though we do use our intellect, but it's a clarity of I've gone through whatever we've gone through, and the only way I made it out, the only way I have this clarity, the only way that things happened was because Hashem was with me. That's ani. There's a Madrega of Beis HaMikdash. We see Hashem. We see Hashem. We mamish go to the Beis HaMikdash, and I don't know what this means, but Bez Hashem, hopefully soon, we see Hashem. For the meantime, in Golas, it's ani. There's another Madrega, which is called like this super infinite consciousness called Hu. But those are the three levels. The levels of relating to Hashem is ani, where I feel it, it's in me. It's not Chashon that I'm Hashem, Chashon. But I mean, I feel Hashem. He took resonance in my heart. I have to open up my heart so he can take resonance there. And then there's another level. Mitzvah in Eretz Israel, no delucha. We talk about Hashem directly. Right? That's what we live in Eretz Israel. And we go to the Beis HaMikdash, and the Beis HaMikdash is Atah. And they fall in the faces because Hashem is mamish right there. You can't picture what that might be. And then there's a picture, there's level of Moshe Rabbeinu. That's who? That's him. We talk about Hashem only as him because he's so distant. He's so enormous. He's so huge. He's so infinite that we can't touch him. So why Moshe Rabbeinu didn't go in? It was because he has no connection to Eretz Israel. Ultimately, right? He's ultimately way above Eretz Israel. He's who? We go to Eretz Israel and we yearn for Eretz Israel because we want a relationship of Ata. And in the meantime, the relationship that we have is the ani. It's within me. It's the connection that I feel deeply within my neshama to Hashem. Okay, I'm gonna hold it up here.
Oh, that was amazing.
Amazing, no?
Beautiful.
Ashreinu. Amamish Ashreinu. I'm telling you, we're both sides. I kiss you guys also. I love kissing Sifrei Torah. Guys, have a wonderful Shabbos. I'll be right there. From Shabbos, it's hard to get to the door even.
Shabbos, Rabbi.
Good
Have a good Shabbos, Hashem.
Shkoch, Rabbi. Have a good Shabbos.
Okay.